Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale Season 9 tips and tricks video. In tonight's video, I have 5 specific things I'm going to be talking about that can help you get more solo wins in this season. Talking about the meta, landing spots, playstyle, and just decision making when it comes down to that mid to late game to convert on more of those games where you might be coming in top 25, top 10, or even not even making it that far, converting those games into victory royales for you, especially in the solo mode. If you guys could smack a like on this video, that would be absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and go for 272 likes. Smash that like if you could hit that. That would be amazing. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and hit that notification bell so you can have a chance to get first on all of my future videos. Also, shout out to a couple of the latest Battle Pass winners for Season 9. I will show up on the screen. So thank you to everyone supporting the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Okay, let's get right into it. And let's talk about it. In the past couple of videos, I have talked just briefly about, like, more specifically and more generally about how this game goes, specifically going into changes with Season 9 and more general in terms of reacting to my gameplay and decision making. But on this one, it's more specific. I have written down 5 things in my notes and that I think talking about these and implementing these in the best possible way into your gameplay will get you more solo wins. First thing we have to talk about is drops and playstyle. Now, when it comes down to Season 9 of Fortnite, a lot of people ask me what are the best landing spots, and I'm not sure, maybe I'll make a video on like best landing spots for this season, but the landing spots are the way it works in Fortnite, and this is the beauty of Fortnite, is that based on the bus route where you want to land, how populated it's going to be is based on that bus route. So when you're playing for solo wins, and it always comes down to the dilemma, how fast do you want to play? The beauty of Fortnite is that you can land tilted and fight so many people right off the bat, or you could land out at Junction and play for the win, or you can do what most people do, which is like a mix of both. You know, sometimes you might do that, sometimes you might do this, and just play into the playstyle that you want. But the first thing that I talk about, if you want to get more solo wins in this game, you have to understand bus routes and drops. And this is not a Season 9 thing. This is just something you have to understand. The thing is that, for example, Mega Mall. If you like landing Mega Mall, if the bus route is right over Mega Mall on the first drop, it's probably not going to be a good drop there if you're going for a win, because there's going to be 25 people there all splitting loot that's probably made for 5 or 6 people, right? So it's really going to end up horribly. However, if the bus route goes right over Tilted Towers or Neo Tilted, and then on those ones, if you stretch that to Lonely Lodge, Paradise, or Mega Mall, or Pressure Plant, something on the other side of the map, you're going to have less people doing the stretch, more loot for yourself, and a higher statistical chance at winning the game. So this is not really a Season 9 specific tip, but it does affect with these new locations because Neo Tilted and Mega Mall are so damn populated right now, and dropping those places is okay, but when they're right under the bus route, I would recommend probably avoiding them if you do want to get consistent wins, just because the lack of loot, the amount of people that's going to be there to share, it's great for getting kills, but you sort of need to find that happy medium. And based off the bus route, what I like to do is I have a couple spots that I like to land. Mega Mall, Fatal Fields, Pleasant Park, Paradise, Junction. I have a few spots that I'll go, and I'm trying to add a couple other to my arsenal as well, where then based off the bus route, so if the bus route's right over Tilted and I know, oh, I want to play this fast-paced, or I'll go Tilted. I want to play it medium-paced, I'm going to go Fatal. I want to play it slow-paced, I'm going to go Lonely Lodge. Just stuff like that and understanding will help you get more solo wins. Next is to understand the meta, and I think this is very important, especially because we're talking about Season 9. This is one that is specific to this season. Understanding the meta, because Fortnite, much like a lot of these competitive other games, moves so quick. Fortnite changes everything and boom, an instant update. You might have been on vacation, you come home and wait, there's no more pump shotgun. You know, everything has changed, and keeping up with the meta is so damn important. Now, the thing with this is I have been playing since this season came out, and I was testing out, you know, you'll see in like one of these gameplays, I think I chose to take the gold shotgun over the green drum gun. But now my mind has been changed on that, or made up, sort of, not really changed, because I was experimenting when the season came out. I want to rock with the drum guns are the best guns in the game, in my opinion, in this current meta. Blue drum gun I will take, even a green drum gun I will take over any of the SMGs, just because of how strong that is. Even the gold P90, as of right now, I've made the decision I'll take a green or a blue over it, as long as I have, you know, so let's say 100 medium ammo or something, just because those weapons are so damn powerful. That is understanding the meta. Another thing that I think is a little overpowered right now are gliders, especially in a casual match. If you're playing for consistent wins, a lot of people don't carry gliders because it takes us up a spot in your inventory. But if you have a lot of mats and you're carrying that glider, understanding the meta, you can make the most of that and basically abuse it. You know, if you have the drum gun, if you have the drum gun, abuse it. Spray as much as you can, understand the meta, use that to win the gunfight. If you have a tac shotgun, abuse that. Tac shotguns are great when you're in a 1x1 with the player right next to them. If you have a combat shotgun, abuse that. Peek in, use an edit place. If you have a glider, build for the absolute sky. You know, different things like that. You really have to make the most of what you're carrying and understanding the meta. I think those are a few things that can help you with in terms of understanding the meta. Another thing would be shields. I think as of right now, carrying shields is very important. A lot of these gunfights, you're going to take damage if you're spraying and they're spraying back with a drum gun, and it's not like how it was with the siphon where maybe you didn't have to carry as many shields because you would be getting them replenished. So that's understanding the meta. That is the second tip that will make the most. Carrying the best inventory, just like in Call of Duty, having the right class setup is so damn important. All right, next is going to be tip number 3, how to get more solo wins, is understand the power of placeables. And what I mean by this specifically is the campfire and the jump pad. Now, with the power of placeables, some things like a trap, which are great to use. Traps, you want to use them effectively as you're playing and efficiently. But the main thing with this is understanding, like, okay, when I have a campfire in my inventory, I don't need to carry a medkit now, or I don't need to carry the slurp. I can take the 50 pot instead in the hopes that I have a higher chance of doubling up that 50 pot later. Different things like that are very, very important to understand. If you're early game and you don't really have much, you have 120 health, you probably might want to carry that medkit. Now, if you have a campfire in your inventory, you might not want to carry that medkit. You might want to take the boom bow or whatever else is your choice. On the other hand, with that, on a jump pads can be used sort of like a glider. It's not the same as a glider, but it's in a similar territory where late game you can use a jump pad to rotate or to save, not really save yourself when you're getting fall damage, kind of, but just to get out of a situation before you take fall damage or before you get overrun. And I think that those are two things to pay attention to and to make the most of. How I do it is I have you see I have the jump pad ready to go, so I can use that one quick if I ever need to get out. If I don't have a jump pad, I will keep the trap ready to go, and the campfire is usually one you don't want to keep ready to go unless you have like nothing else, because you can always just swap over to that one quickly, place it down, especially if you have multiple campfires. That is important. Understanding your placeables and understanding how that can impact your inventory. If I have 5 launch pads, which just happens some games, maybe I don't need to carry the gliders that game because I can just use launch pads at my free will, and maybe I should carry a double shield. If I have, if I have 5 campfires, why the heck would I ever carry a medkit? It would just be a waste. It would literally just be a waste unless there was nothing else there, right? So that's something with placeables, and you can make the most out of that. Coming in at number 4, mid to late kills versus your statistical percentage of winning. Now, this is very interesting because when it comes down to mid or late game, that's when it's crunch time. Top 25, I'd say, in solos is when you get into it. That's when, you're in your stats, you can see your top 25s, your top 10s, and your victory royales. Now, late game, you have to understand, if you have a good inventory, like I have right now, there's 9 people left in this game. Look at my inventory. It's pretty amazing. Right there, I would take up the drum gun now. Of course, that's the thing that I was talking about. Before I was like, I don't know. But this gameplay is from a couple days ago, earlier when the season came out, right? So I would take the drum gun there. Ideally, you have a blue drum gun. But in this situation, like fighting this player, I don't gain anything out of this, like in terms of winning the game. I already have pretty much max mats, great shields. I don't really gain much, right? And that's sort of what you get from that. You have to understand that going for fights in the mid to late game usually is not the best statistical move. If you want to play for the win, it's better to rotate early, base up, sit back, take your fights when at the smart moves. And that's why I think when it comes to late game, I see a lot of players who might just get hyped up like, okay, I've got 6 kills this game or 8 kills this game. I want to go for the 10 bomb. And you have to make that conscious decision. Do you push for that 10 bomb? And of course, if you're fighting out of the last 5 players, you're trying to fight them all and beat them all, your statistical chance of winning is going to go down because obviously you're fighting people who have a chance of killing you. And if you play it safe, your chance of winning will go up, but the amount of kills you're going to win with is going to be less. So late game to mid game, making that decision. And I think the way to do it is, the way that I sort of do it is I'll take all the fights. However, if I'm in a fight where I'm getting 3rd or 4th partied, and if I feel like, oh my goodness, there's a high chance I'm going to die here, I'm not going to stick around and take the risk for those 2 kills. I'm going to jump pad out, reposition, and then take that fight later. I'd rather get consistent, 8, 9, 10 kill wins than get a 15 bomb once a week and lose every other game. That's just my personal style, but it all depends on what you want. If I wanted to go for that 15 bomb, of course, I'd drop tilted and just keep playing. And obviously, it probably wouldn't happen in the first game, but if I'm looking for a 5 kill win, obviously that that would be a lot easier to happen in the first game. You know, it all depends what you want, and you have to play to that style. Understand that, but no, when you do go for these fights late game, if you don't have loot, sometimes it's necessary to go for the fights, but if you are fully prepared and you want just the win, then you have to make that decision. And the last thing is playing for the last fight. So when it gets down to the top 5, this is a tip that sort of goes hand in hand with that. Understanding you are going to be in that last fight. Whenever it gets down to like 3 people, 4 people, 5 people left, I try to sort of play it smart, get in my positions, and ideally set myself up with an inventory that and health going in, and shields, or not health and shields are basically, you know, all combined, and mats going into that late game fight, where I want to be confident going every time it's a 1v1. If I make it to the end, I want to have the better inventory and health than that player. And that's another thing that you have to watch with how many gunfights you're taking earlier and what tough position. Those are the worst games, where you fight everyone, you kill that third last to last player, and then, which is technically the second to last enemy, and then you, as you took 100 damage winning that fight, you're trying to mini up, and another person just comes spraying through your base and kills you. You know, those are tough ones. So understanding that and playing it smart for the late game is very, very important. Anyway, hopefully this did help you guys out to get more solo wins in Season 9. Smack that like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, hit that notification bell, and check out some of my other vids. Will be much, much appreciated. Catch you all in the next video, and I'm out. Peace.